All right. Good morning, and I welcome you once again back to our channel, Prince's Seat. Today remains the 24th of October 2025. It's a wonderful Friday morning, and the week is ending fast. We thank the Lord for launching us right from Monday till now, and we would never be casualties of these circumstances in the name of Jesus. Now, this morning, I want to delve into the inconsistencies within the ecosystem, the message of Zeta this morning, the message of our cargo, and management at a higher level. Now, it is important. Then I'm also going to talk about the date, the date fix-up, which is actually the main issue right now that is at stake in the ecosystem. First, let me start off from the last, which has to do with the date fixing. Now, the predicting of dates based on what the government is saying, according to the coordinators that have spoken to us in time. I believe that without official confirmation from the government or government being open to the ground ecosystem, if they are not opened enough, they are only succeeding to deepen the confusion and the mistrust within this grand community, because part of the deal in this ecosystem is trust and communication gap. This has been over time. The issue of trust, right from Olorun Kayede of SEM, down to Telpicom, down to Golden Bridge, down to Uria, down to MTN, a lot of those, communications from grant handlers and those that have promised us grant in time. Right from time immemorial, the gap between all of these handlers and the expectant beneficiaries remains trust and credibility. There's no transparency from their end, and subscribers are made to wait and to linger on for what was promised them. So every time a new date is announced without a solid evidence or verified documentation, expectations rise. And when that date passes without fulfillment, disappointment follows in the hearts of every expectant beneficiaries. So this repeated pattern has weakened the confidence and also divides the community that has created a lot of unnecessary emotional tension among genuine subscribers who have been waiting for far too long. And it's not nice. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere just after this timeout. All right, thank you very much, and welcome back again to our report this morning. Now, we're talking about the date first. Now, we understand that when a date is given in hope, but it is later shifted or postponed, people would begin to lose faith, not just in the message, but in the entire structure behind it. And the trust gap has a way it widens with every unfulfilled promises that we have in the ecosystem. And those who still hold on to faith, they are being mocked. They are mocked by others who feel deceived. They are mocked, and soon, the unity that's supposed to enshrine us in one indestructible oneness begins to crumble. This is a very dangerous cycle, that can crash or crumble to the ground the credibility of even the most well-intentioned leaders in the ecosystem. I believe that a leadership that constantly changes the narrative, one day promising a final date, and the next day they announce a new update. What are they trying to do? They are risking losing the moral authority that actually binds them in core values, because people would no longer be able to tell whether the updates are based on verified facts, you understand, or they are just mere assumptions. And that is where we found ourselves right now. When that line blurs, the followers stop to listen with conviction. And instead of building peace in everything, the repeated predictions, no matter how kindly presented, they can unintentionally begin to spark frustration, begin to spark some disappointment and anger in the entire process. To be fair, Ambassador Zita's Onwosu's intention might seem pure. And she was saying, if it was in my covers, I would have disbursed everything. Her tone could be calm and motherly, which is an attempt to maintain peace among subscribers who are already weary of waiting, But I think that true leadership goes beyond just kind words and hopeful speeches. It requires the responsibility, the evidence, and the result. I keep stressing it. The clarity, the transparency, the responsibility, the fact, the results. Encouragement is very good, but I think accountability is better off. It's better. Leadership, especially in sensitive matters that involves people's finances and expectations, must be guided by clarity and truth. It's not enough to say, let us be patient, when there are no clear signs of progress. People have been patient and yet patient. Even now as I'm talking, I am part of the patient, and people deserve that official transparency and a verifiable roadmap that shows that their hopes are not being trampled upon and that they are not being misled or misplaced. If truly the grant funds have been approved, or it has been earmarked as we have often been told, then let those in charge show the evidence. Let the management publish some memos. You understand? Let them publish some memos or some government acknowledgement that can confirm these verifiable claims. It is not disrespectful for the public to ask for proof. It is their right, especially when millions of citizens are emotionally and financially invested. They have invested in a program. Clarity is not a luxury. It is a duty. It's a duty. It is also very important that the coordinators and the managers of this project should speak in one voice. Not diplomacy. They should speak in one voice. The most confusing aspect of the whole process is the number of conflicting updates that is coming from different people. One coordinator will say that the funds have arrived. Another will say documents are still in process. Another will talk about the date is still under argument. Another person will claim that disbursement is any moment from now. Now, these are conflicting statements that leave the public very much unsure of what to believe. And this is where the inconsistency gives room to those rumors that you see and the argument that you see. A lot of things that we hear, when the official representatives contradict each other, they will create chaos in the community. Now, the management of the UAG has a central voice, a secretary that comes to debunk. Most especially is on a debunking spree. The management of the Pioneer has got no central voice communication channel. The Pioneer management has not gotten a coordinated central voice. And that is the only way to restore some public trust, if you may ask me. The system that all of these coordinators represent must begin to match their words with actions. The subscribers have been patient for long. Their endurance should not be mistaken for weakness or ignorance. They are simply waiting for truth. They are waiting for fairness to prevail. And at this point, they don't need any longer emotional statement or spiritual reassurances. What they need is a firm governmental backed declaration, one that is documented, one that is signed, one that is evident and provable. Yes, hope without evidence has expired its usefulness. People now want result and not repetition. Until that happens, no matter how passionately or sincere Mrs. Zita speaks, her assurance will continue to sound like the same familiar promises that's repeated in a new form. The words may comfort for a moment, but they no longer convince people. Let the management, the stakeholders, the government representatives, let them act decisively. Let them communicate clearly to the masses. Let them put an end to this endless cycle of shifting of dates and unfulfilled expectations. The people are ready. Aren't you ready? If you are ready, talk within the comment section. I am ready. I'm over ready, chef. They are ready. They are ready not just to hear, pardon. They are ready not just to hear another promise, but to finally see this long-awaited manifestation of what they were told to expect. Now, regarding Chief Akogun's statement, he mentioned something, and I'm quoting him right now. See, if you pay anyone for Pioneer, and he mentioned the names of certain people. I don't want to mention them here, but he mentioned the names of certain coordinators. He said, go and collect your money. Now, that may sound a little bit harsh, but it might also carry some undertone of some hard truth. Because a lot of subscribers paid to people a lot. They trusted the coordinators who made verbal promises without written accountabilities. Now, Akogun's statement may sound insensitive, but it also reflects the frustration of someone who possibly has watched the system repeatedly in this cycle of redundancy, cycle. The reason some people would not completely blame Akogun is because the coordinators themselves, the stakeholders themselves, they have not demonstrated straightforwardness in their dealings. They have not. Their actions or lack of it have created some loopholes that allow suspicions to thrive. In every well-structured organization, there must be a record of who collected what, for what purpose, and under what authority. And the result shouldn't be far-fetched. There should be a clear path. Unfortunately, that has not been clearly seen here. Trust, I keep saying it, trust is the backbone of any community project, especially the one involving these large sums of money and a promise of social impact. Once trust is broken, everything else becomes like meaningless and a nightmare. Even genuine efforts is going to be misunderstood because people are already skeptical. This is why transparency and timely communication, they are non-negotiable. Pioneers, I believe, remains a great project in theory, one that was built to uplift citizens and empower communities. The fund, according to the several claims, was indeed earmarked for this purpose. But the problem lies in execution and communication. Everyone entered into the program willingly. Some investing time, other resources, and many their hope and money. But what they have received in return so far are only the shifting explanations, spiritual assurances, and endless waiting until now. The carrot dangling after investment, those constant promises of soon, next week, final stage, that is what has caused the most pain. And it is cruel to keep people in suspense with promises that are never fulfilled. Every unkept word erodes the public faith and paints even the honest leaders in a bad light. Now, some people have tried to justify the delays with spiritual explanations. While it is true that faith plays a vital role in every human endeavor, yet spirituality must not replace structure. No amount of prayer can substitute for proper management, proper documentation, and proper communication. No amount of prayer can substitute for that. The same God who answers prayers also commands truth. That same God also commands discipline and order. So if we are dealing with a spiritual process, then there should still be spiritual consistency. But what we see is incoherence. One can only wonder how such disorder can begin to exist in something claimed to be spiritually led. God is not the author of confusion. Any process that keeps people in endless doubt and emotional distress cannot be said to represent divine order. The time has come for clarity over charisma. The time has come for truth over tales. The time has come for documents over declarations. People deserve to know where they stand. Those managing the project, they must stop speaking in riddles and speak in facts. Those representing the government also, they must release verified information that the public can trace and trust. So, the only peace here that lasts is that one that is built on honesty. I'm ending now. That one that is built on transparency and justice. If indeed this project is very real, which I believe is real in the first place, but the management is not coordinated, let it prove itself very openly. If there are delays, let the truths be told plainly. But let there be no more shifting stories and spiritual masking of human errors and what have you. The subscribers have been patient. They've been long patient enough. Now they deserve performance. The leaders have spoken at different times. Now they must act. The time for another promise is over. The time for delivery should be now. I rest my case. This is Prince Isit. If this resonates with you, just share this same VN to every other person to also be part of this process. Let truth, transparency, equity, fairness, and accountability be our watchword. Thank you, and do have a nice day.